Hello everyone, it's me Clayton. I just finished watching Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Now, after the 2018 Into the Spider-Verse movie, it seemed that the sky was the limit when it came to Miles Morales. Not only was there a version of the character that the audience really liked, but with a multiverse plotline to go off of, it seemed that any films that would follow that film up would have a lot of potential and a lot of interesting ideas to go through. And a lot of interesting ideas are covered when it comes to this film, even if it does suffer from certain middle chapter issues. But let's get to the story, shall we? The story is that Shamik Moore's Miles Morales is back, but it turns out that him mixing his duties as Spider-Man with his time at high school has caused him to miss a few things, and it has caused him to get into a bit of family drama with his mother and father. Enough to the point where he gets grounded, in fact. And since Gwen Stacy, played by Haley Steinfeld, and Peter Parker, played by Jake Johnson, have not been able to see each other for a while, Miles basically jumps at the opportunity to see his buddies again when it seems that he has a trip to the multiverse, where we meet a whole bunch of other Spider people, including Spider-Man 2099, played by Oscar Isaac. There's Jessica Drew, played by Issa Rae. And Spider-Punk, played by Daniel Kaluuya, and a bunch of other ones, as it seems that Miles's efforts to help people out in other dimensions are actually causing more trouble than they're worth. But that's all I'll say about the story. I actually have an interesting theory about a lot of these multiverse movies. Since they can have multiple versions of the same characters that we know and love, there's always has to be some sort of thing that holds them together that keeps the stakes high. Like for the Loki series, there was a one timeline that had to be focused on in order for the multiverse to function properly. That was also used in an episode of What If, and a similar concept is used in this film. There's canon points that have to follow every Spider-Man story, or else the universe will just blow up. It's a very meta idea that's actually used for drama here, and I really like that idea, how it's used here. And like the original Into the Spider-Verse movie, there's tons of details when it comes to the animation. Not only in the fast-paced action scenes and even in the subtle emotional character expressions, but also when it comes to references to other Spider-Men from the past. There's like Insomniac Spider-Man, there are some live-action characters from Venom in there at one point. The animation style can go from Renaissance paintings to Legos to different kinds of hand-drawn or CG animation, and all of it fits in very well. It feels like with this, you can go to any freaking universe, and any of them would work out just very well. And that's why I think the power of animation works here better here than something like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, for example. Because the visual effects not only feel more cohesive in this version, but we get to explore some of those other universes in more detail. And we get to see Miles pushed into different areas we thought we'd never seen him before in, such as when he has to have arguments with Miguel O'Hara, aka Spider-Man 2099, or when he has to see the consequences of him trying to do too much for a certain universe, where he really should learn restraint. Being a hero is amazing, is great and all that stuff, but you can't save everyone in every single timeline, and the film plays around with that idea to the point where Spider-Man 2099 and the other Spider people aren't really protagonists or antagonists, they're just people doing what they think is right. And I really like films where there isn't a clear villain, or there isn't a clear bad guy outside of one major antagonist who even he has a sympathetic motivation. It feels like everyone makes sense when it comes to where they are and where they stand, and it makes for a gripping story while it still has tons of humor, tons of heart, and tons of great character moments. Now, granted, this does end on a cliffhanger, but it ends on a cliffhanger with one of the best twists of the movie that I won't spoil for you. And despite the fact that the film's over 2 hours long, it never feels boring in any sense. So while I don't think it's as strong as the first Spider-Verse film, I think it sets the stage for what should be an epic finale with with the third and final Spider-Verse movie. That's why I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. See you next time.